You are now plugged into the Social Plug Podcast.
What's up, everybody? I'm Johnny Martinez, and you are plugged in to the Social Plug Podcast, where we connect you to level up and where we discuss ordinary people doing extraordinary things. We're always powered by Social Plug Media. We are in the Greenleaf studio at Greenleaf Health and Wellness in New Braunfels, Texas. The man behind the camera, our engineer, our producer, is none other than J-Rock. What's going on, J-Rock?
What's up, man? Doing all right, brother?
Doing good, man. You got we talked about it before the show. You got the Death Row Records shirt.
Yeah, I got the Death Row, man.
Snoop Dogg.
Representing the Snoop Dogg shirt.
Dude, how has Snoop Dogg remained relevant for 25 years?
He stays up with the time, man. I mean, he hangs out with guys like Sugar Shane O'Malley. I mean, dude, if you're smoking dope, you're chill, man. Like, everybody thinks you're.
Well, besides the dope game, he's in like entertainment. He's in commercials.
Yeah, see, that's what I've never understood is like people think that it's bad for how he kind of came up, but everybody loves him everywhere. He's been on talk shows with Kevin Hart. He's like
movies.
You said, been movies.
He's an actor.
Yeah, he's an actor.
He's an entrepreneur. He does branding.
Yeah, commentator for UFC for
the Mike Tyson fight.
Yeah, he did that too.
Dude, so I see him on Corona commercials, right?
Yeah,
with other actors.
Yeah.
Who the hell would ever thought 20 years ago Snoop Dogg would be making all these commercials? Because he was a gangster rapper, right?
Yeah.
17 years old, he came out on the game and he was gangster rapping. Yeah. And I still think 90s music is the best, by the way.
Hell
90s,
yeah.
that decade of music is definitely elite. Yeah. But back to Snoop Dogg. He's gotten older. He's probably in his 50s. And he still remained relevant. Every single year, he comes out with something.
Yeah, everywhere. Pro wrestling, he was in WWE a lot. They made WWE made him a championship belt, bro, and he lost it. Somebody stole it from him. I don't know if they ever found that, by the way. But yeah, anyways, Sasha Banks, who is your daughter's favorite wrestler, that's his cousin.
So Snoop Dogg.
It's Snoop Dogg, yeah. But Snoop Dogg been killing it for years, man.
He has. He's got the braids. He's got the blunts. He's got it all.
Well, that's why, representing the shirt, I've always loved his style of what he's done, the Doghouse. I loved his cover from his album.
Doggy Style?
Yeah, Doggy Style. There you go. But he took over and owns Death Row now. I don't know if you know that. He didn't. No. He didn't. He owns the brand now. So, but yeah. But it's good, man.
So we'll talk about branding. We'll talk about all kinds of stuff, marketing, throughout this episode. It's going to be a fun and entertaining, influential, educational, and informational podcast today. We got a very special guest. He's a friend of mine. This guy is an Air Force veteran. He's a community influencer. He's a podcaster, entrepreneur, and he's a marketing guru. He knows a lot about marketing and branding and beyond. So we're going to have a great conversation, a great episode. So make sure you share this with your friends, your family, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel where we have over 2,100 subscribers right now. We've been doing this for about 4 months, and we have 2,100 subscribers, so let's just keep it going. So my podcast guest today is none other than Sean Christian.
What's up?
Look at this guy right here.
America, baby, America. Look at this. If you don't get excited about looking at this America shirt, then
I'm about to salute you, sir.
Yeah, well, salute the flag, my friend. Salute the flag. Hey, can I chime in about Snoop Dogg?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Did y'all know that Snoop Dogg is on LinkedIn now?
Really?
Yeah, so Snoop Dogg
is a professional.
He is a master at marketing and branding because he understands where his audience is.
Yeah.
So Snoop Dogg understands that his audience that followed him in our younger years, right? They are now business owners and mega entrepreneurs, and that's where they are living. They're not on Facebook trying to promote their business or their image. They're on LinkedIn. And he's smart. He's a smart man. He knows how to pivot, and he knows how to reach his audience and continue to deliver to his audience. So, I'm a fan of Snoop Dogg, for sure.
Yeah, man.
So let me ask you this. Big kudos to Snoop Dogg, but he's created his brand when he was 17 years old.
Yeah.
So is it easier for somebody like that to keep their brand going when you already have an audience he's a household name, right? Just like if you say Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, or something like that, they're like, we already know, Mike Tyson. So is it easier for somebody like that, or is it just as hard for anybody else?
No, I don't think it's easier. You have to remain relevant to your audience. You have to be, we've all heard this, out of sight, out of mind. Mm-hmm. If you're not relevant, if you're not creating and today we live in a content-driven world where the new commodity is our attention. And if you're not constantly engaging with your audience and creating new content and creating new topics to talk about, or even maybe a little bit of drama, you're going to lose your audience and they're going to move on. Someone else is going to come in there and grab that audience from you. So Snoop Dogg has remained relevant throughout his tenure of his craft.
It's
right?
incredible, man.
It's phenomenal.
How he's done
It's
it.
great. So it's, but no, you have to. So I don't to really answer your question. No, it's not any easier, but he has to continue to just stay in front of his audience.
Because one misstep that Snoop Dogg makes is going to derail his entire enterprise.
Yeah, I think so. I will say that he will be more forgiven for his missteps, right? The dude can get away with
bro.
smoking.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
And no offense to like, I've heard from certain people like, hey man, you better be careful who being around them. Dude, I know I'm no Snoop Dogg or no other person's a Snoop Dogg, but it's just it's how you take it in, how you are, how it's going.
Are people very forgiving nowadays?
No.
Man, I don't think they are, but I do think they forget, and then over time they may forgive. But man, everything's under the spotlight these days, and everyone's looking to get out on someone,
Even on a small scale.
on a small scale.
Small, large, it doesn't matter. People are always out to find fault and criticize you or critique you in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and now with social media, the way it sits right now, it's a lot easier to slip up because there's always a camera on you, and people will twist and turn and present you in a way that probably wasn't the way that you intended to be presented. So, in theory, like Snoop Dogg, he doesn't give a crap anymore, right? He is who he is, and I think he is more forgiving because we say, well, that's just Snoop, right? That's just how he rolls. But if we went out and did something similar to that, oh man, we'd be canceled in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Well, let's kind of do some Snoop Dogg stuff here. Let's
do it.
And we represent a good time.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
We go out. We have an entourage sometimes. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we're independent. But we like maybe have a drink here and there.
Speaking of that, let's do a shot.
That's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna do.
Oh snap! Okay, I thought you were talking about something else.
No.
I mean,
Hey, that could have gone
Snoop
100 different
that
ways.
I mean, that's why I got the green, right? I got the green right
there you
here.
go.
So we got some Jello shots here, right? This is G-rated. I would say it might have some alcohol in there, but
I don't know.
It's our. Is it your first drink of the day?
I'm not going to answer that now.
So this
Somebody might take that.
Nobody knows what time it is, by the way.
knows.
So,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what, you're
So that
good.
drink you have in front of you, that's just
That's here for
straight.
looks, everybody.
Yeah,
Look how
it
pretty
is.
that
All
is.
right. All right, so I have prepared the Jello shot. I got a
let's do it.
strawberry, and you probably got some kind of
I don't know.
lime. All right, here we
I don't
go.
know what I get. Cheers, fellas.
Cheers.
Ooh,
Man, that's
I can hear you sucking on it.
I think we can hear you. You can hear you sucking on it.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was delicious.
So we talked a little bit about marketing, talked about branding, and we're just going to scratch the surface, man.
Yeah.
You're a dynamic dude. You're diverse. You were in the Air Force for how long?
21 years.
And in the latter parts of your Air Force career, you did some marketing.
I did. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say the last 11 years of my career, because when I became a recruiter, that was day one of marketing. When I was an Air Force recruiter in Longview, Texas, East Texas, I represented the Air Force.
Right.
There was no Air Force base there. So I had to market myself, and through marketing, it was based on how I behaved, how I interacted with the community, in and out of the uniform, because as a good recruiter, as a salesperson, you have to market yourself as trustworthy and dependable, and it doesn't matter what you're wearing for that day because, they're doing, at the end of the day, they were doing business with Sean and the United States Air Force regardless of what I was wearing. So from the time I got into recruiting, I had to market myself, as I'm going to take care of your kids, your aunts and your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, your kids, everyone, because they trusted me to advise them and counsel them to go and if the country called for it, to defend our freedoms.
Dude, you were like a career liaison.
Yeah.
You were the middleman between them and starting a whole new career.
That's it.
And creating a new legacy or a new network, a new cycle. Because some of these people that join the Air Force, let's just keep it real. Some might come from a bad home life. Some join to serve their country. Some serve to get money. Some serve to get a skill. And some serve just to get the hell out of Longview, Texas.
Yeah.
Right? So there's so many ways, but you as a recruiter, you had to figure out what their needs were, right?
Yep. Well, I tell you, there's this one young man. I'm not going to mention his name. He was an orphan, right? And when if you've ever joined the military, then you've done a background check.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've gone through that process. Well, this young man did not have. He didn't know who his parents were. He didn't know who his family was. He was living in a local orphan home. He didn't have a car. I don't even think he had a job. Actually, he did have a job, but he had to walk to it. Well, when I got there, I just found this young man just eager to be a part of something. And my office partner at the time, he was working. He had too much going on. I go, well, let me help this young man. Long story short, we were able to get him in. And now he's in intelligence. Now he's working at the Pentagon. And I remember when he came back on recruiter's assistance, and I called him and said, hey, we've got our delayed entry program meeting. Are you able to get there? What's your transportation look like? He goes, well, sir, I got a great pair of boots. I go, no, sir, you are not walking. You are not walking anymore. You tell me where you are. I'm going to come pick you up every single morning. And that's what I did. And that is what it's about, right? He wanted to serve. He wanted to do something for himself and just make his life better. And
did that inspire you, brother?
Oh man, of course it did.
No matter what position you are or how high on the totem pole you are, there's people that are regular Joe Blows that can inspire you.
Yep.
And I always talk about it, ordinary people doing extraordinary things.
Yep.
Right? So this orphan, he had nothing.
He had nothing.
He had no parents. He had no support system. He was just there on his own. And then you helped change his life. You gave him an opportunity. He took it, and now he's working at the damn Pentagon, man.
Yeah,
serving the country and serving the world pretty much.
It's crazy.
Right? So,
yeah, and I guarantee he's probably still wearing the same boots that he got in basic training because he knew how to conserve and save, and he just didn't blow his money like the rest of us did.
And now he has a family.
And he probably has a family now.
Yeah.
And he's able to provide for that family. So Air Force recruiting was probably it changed me as an individual. It allowed me to open my eyes on what I really had as an airman in the Air Force because I didn't really know as a young kid. I got paid and I had great health and great benefits, but it wasn't until I became a recruiter that I recognized, oh my gosh, I have a lot to be thankful for.
That's when the light bulb above your head was shining bright.
That's when I joined. There's the pivotal moment in everyone's career when it no longer is a job and it is a career and it's part of who you are. It's part of your personality. And it wasn't until recruiting that it was no longer a job because during all that time I was dating my wife at the time. Mm-hmm. And so it all just kind of came into one place. And I woke up every morning with a different sense of purpose. And it changed my life forever.
So your wife, we know your wife well, Sandra.
Yeah, she's the boss.
She is your boss.
She's
your
the
handler.
boss.
She's everything to you.
Yeah.
All right.
She tells me when I'm messing up and when I'm doing great.
Right. So she's also a marketer, and she does a phenomenal job as well.
She's way better than me.
I'm going to give her a plug.
Yeah.
All in canopies.
Plug it.
All right. So she creates backdrops, tents, table covers, signs,
backpack
galore.
flags.
Backpack. So she does a great job. So it's a smart thing because her brand can market to any business out there. All right. And we'll talk about marketing as we go.
Oh, yeah,
let's talk about relationship first.
Yeah.
All right. So you talked about Sandra. She's from Sweden.
And
How did you guys meet, man?
Well, look at me, man.
You got the scruffy beard. You're looking like Nick Nolte. You know Nick Nolte?
I love the confidence.
I'm not as cute as I used to be. Look at this goodness down here.
So let me ask you this. All right, real talk.
Yeah.
If you were walking down the street today, could you pick Sandra up today?
Of course. I don't know. She's looking at me. Give me a nod. Could I? Yeah, she's giving me a nod.
That's
and it's
the
an
right
up and
answer,
down
Sandra.
nod, not a left or right nod. It's up and down nod. Of course.
With the scruffy beard and and the hair in the ears and the nose and all that stuff.
Well, don't Johnny. Let's not get this twisted. I'm all right, but I still
don't get it twisted.
I still got mad game. I still know how to talk my way into a date.
Confidence is everything.
Yeah, I don't know if I could talk my way into 2 or 3 dates, but I could talk my way into at least one.
All you need is one opportunity,
That's it,
right?
that's
Just
it.
like in life,
Just
one
gotta
opportunity,
show up. That's
right?
it.
All it takes is one.
Yep.
So you guys have been married for how long?
12 years, 13 years, I think. I'm looking at her, 13 years. We met when I was stationed at Hanscom Air Force Base in Boston. She was a nanny. She was an au pair, and she was working with a family, a very phenomenal Swedish/Jewish family, a very loving family, and she took care of their kids and really just was part of their family. And we met at a Chili's outside of Hanscom Air Force Base.
Was that your first date, or
was
that where you met?
First date? And here,
how romantic, Sean.
Well, I'll tell you, it was on a Thursday, and I have a reason. So it was a Thursday night, right? Because I was heavy on
50-cent wings.
Actually, it might have been 29-cent wings at that time. So I would only do first dates on Thursday nights, because that was my night, right? Because I tell you why. Because I valued my weekends. Because I had a group of people that I hung out with. We hit the bars. We did our thing. We traveled. We had a lot of fun. But if I had a first date on a Friday or Saturday night, I wasted my night. I wasted my weekend. So it was always Thursday night, because if the date went sour on a Thursday night, it's all good, because I still got my weekend.
So that's smart,
right?
Man, you can write a book about that.
I should. And that was my last.
That's smart. I never thought about that.
Yeah, well, that was my last first date.
Because that's like the pregame for the weekend.
Yeah.
If it goes good, then you have something for the weekend. If it goes bad, you still have something for the weekend.
That's right.
But if you do it on a Saturday night and it goes to shit, then you're screwed.
You're screwed.
Right.
Yeah. Now you're just ticked off on Sunday. And then if the Cowboys lose, it was even worse.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, they're gonna win the Super Bowl. Mark my words.
So your wife was a nanny. She took care of kids, and now
she takes
care of you.
Yes, sir. 100% fact.
And as we get older, our wives take care of us even more.
Yeah.
Pushing the wheelchair, changing the Depends, shaving our backs.
Well,
doing all those things.
I wouldn't say she's already doing that for me. I don't need to get any older. In fact, she might have been doing that for the last 12 years. That might have been our third date. Hey, could you shave my back?
I think you missed the spot.
Spot.
Are you a hairy guy?
Heck yeah, man. I'm a man.
Hairy like animal.
Yeah.
Like a Sasquatch or like a koala? What are you, man?
Depending on the time of the year, is it winter or is it summer? I don't know. Yeah.
Do you keep it on during the winter or what?
Well, no, I keep it off all the time now. But
we grew up with a guy named Daniel, but we called him AP. No, Daniel. His AP. We called him Austin Powers.
Oh yeah,
AP.
Baby.
And
that's bad.
And then his brother came up a year after that into high school, and we called him Pre-AP, like a class. We called him Pre-AP, like.
Dude, I was never able to grow body hair.
I can't grow no body.
All right.
I have no hair other than what's on my head, pretty much.
But there's some dudes. We had Michael Mann, one of our hosts. That dude's like a damn gorilla.
Yeah. No, I got it on my back.
Silverback.
I get it everywhere.
Yeah.
I just keep that stuff short.
All right, good. We don't want you, hanging out of your
man.
shirt and all that.
And
man.
I've seen with guys, it's like it's coming out. It's almost gonna, it's gonna like eat their neck of hair.
Dude, there's some women that love a hairy man.
I mean, that's cool. Good for them.
It's like being with a damn ape.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. But so let's talk about, okay. So
I don't know.
Hey,
I like how you get yourself out of that hole right there.
I did. Hey, and I digress. All right. So the Air Force, right?
Yeah,
you were in 20 years,
Yeah.
went recruiting, you transitioned out.
Yeah.
How's retired life, bro?
Oh man, I still think I'm going through that phase of the transition, right? So,
because what you're doing now is part of the transition, and I'm trying to set a timeline. Of what we got.
Well, I'll say this: the Air Force was phenomenal. It brought a level of a higher calling. We had a mission. We had a purpose. It wasn't about revenue. It was about changing lives and protecting our way of life.
Mm-hmm.
So now, it's just, I don't know, man. It's the camaraderie. Even though the Air Force wasn't, the military's not perfect by all means. But it was the relationships that I had in the service, right? And I still keep in touch with a lot of those.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny, you and I, even though you and I never really worked in the same unit, we indirectly worked together, but it still was those relationships that you had, and sometimes the days sucked, and sometimes they were great, but you remembered on why you were there. So now, fast forward 2 years later, and I just hit my 2-year retirement anniversary.
Congratulations!
Thank you on 1 September, and I love retirement. I love being able to do what I want to do and work where I want to work. And travel whenever I want to travel, even though my wife thinks I travel way too much. And I'm like, where are we going next? She's like, calm down, guy. The suitcase is still packed from our last trip. But it's going good. I have to take it day by day, and I'm continuously learning. I'm continuously figuring out what is my next calling, because I'm not just I don't want a job. I don't want a job. I want to make an impact. Right. So where can I go and make the greatest impact? Now, again, let's not get this twisted. I like to make money, because without money, you cannot do the things that you want to do. So there is a line, and you have to figure out where that line is drawn, because at the same time, I can make a ton of money in my life, be miserable, but I'm not really making an impact if I'm miserable. So you have to figure out what works best for you. And I think if I could give any advice to any vet that is through that transition from active duty to the civilian sector, is be patient, slow down. I wish I would have taken a little more time off and take time for myself. I didn't do that. But ask your fellow vets that have moved on, what were some things that they would have done differently. And just enjoy the ride. And you don't have to hurry up and get to a new location. You just served your country for X amount of years. Celebrate that. Take care of yourself. And do some things that you may have not done. Go smoke a joint if you want. Go drink it. Have a cocktail at 10 a.m. Go do something that you want to do for yourself. Go train for a marathon. Or go back to school. Spend time with your family.
Yep.
Right?
I think that's important.
Yes.
Fulfill your bucket list items. Spend time with those who truly love you.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about relationships as well, and we're going to talk about a little bit about transition and stuff like that. One thing that I tell vets, because I do mentor some vets, start working on that transition at least 3 to 4 years out.
Oh, for sure.
Start going out there and meet up with these individuals that are in your community, mixers. And if you're not in that community, cool. You can still go meet up with the local community that you're not going to retire at, but you can still gain those marketable skills.
Yeah.
Because once you're a civilian and you're out of the military, that structured, rigid military mindset, nobody gives a shit that you're in the military.
Right. Yeah.
Nobody cares.
And
if
no
you
one's
serve
coming.
20 years, 25 or 2.
Yep. And no one's coming looking for you either.
No. So make sure that you take care of yourself, build relationships. All right. We talked about the relationship with your wife, Sandra. Let's talk about how important relationships are in the community, because you are a community influencer as well. Yeah. All right, and then we'll get into all your other stuff. Relationships matter, Sean.
Yeah, because you can't go through life by yourself without the support of your friends and your family, right? Ask yourself, who would you call at 2 a.m. in the morning if you're in a place of need, or even more so, are you that person that someone would call at 2 a.m. in the morning? And you better show up to support that person's needs. So relationships matter, because we're on this earth not to work, not to do all this other stuff that we kind of fill our time with. We're on this planet to have relationships
with the right people.
And they go so far. And without a relationship, you have nothing, right? It makes life less fun, because life is hard as it is, and sometimes, as busy as my wife and I are, sometimes I forget we don't connect. Like the last time we spoke maybe a few days ago, and I don't remember the last time we talked before that, but it's important to reach out to people, not because you need something, but because you care about them.
Right. It's okay to say hello to people when you haven't talked to them for a year. It's not just okay, it's required. If you want to keep these relationships going.
Yeah.
I reach out to you every once in a while. I think about you, whether I'm on the shitter or in the shower or having dinner.
Well, that's interesting.
I'm like, let me reach out. Let me reach out to Sean. See how he's doing.
He called me the other day, or we were chatting it up, and he had the phone. And I just talked about this the last episode on Johnny with Johnny and Duncan and Michael Mann. but you had the phone in this section. I'm like, dude, are you taking a shit?
And I had my shirt was off.
Your shirt was out.
I
too.
answered
was
my
like-
phone, a video call, with my shirt off with this guy. That's how confident I am with J-Rock.
Yeah,
All right, relationships matter.
they matter.
So I've only known this guy for about 3 years, J-Rock.
Yeah,
And you and I have built a great relationship together. You and I have built a great relationship. Myself and Sandra, we have the connections. And that's why when I was thinking of a name for my media company, we're all plugged, Sean. We're all plugged in into something or someone. Maybe not in that way, but we're all plugged in into a lot of different things. And that's just the way it is, man. And we have to be mindful that we got to take care of ourselves, but take care of others as well. And I'm a firm believer, if you take care of others, the shit's going to take care of you.
Yeah, the rising tide raises all ships.
Right.
So a leader, when they get to that level of being at the top, it's not how further can I get, is how can I bend over and reach down and bring those up with me. And I think a lot of leadership in business or in this country, it's about how can I continue to be the leader. Man, I don't care if I'm the leader or not. I tell you, I'm a great number 2 guy. I'm a fantastic number 2 guy. I'm a great number 3 guy. I'm a great number 4 guy. I'm a pretty good number 1 guy, but I don't have to be the number 1 guy.
When did you realize that you didn't have to be that number 1 guy?
That's a great question. I really don't know. I think I said it for the first time a few months ago in my current role.
Really?
Yeah, but I think I've always believed that. But also, I'm an entrepreneur, right? Entrepreneurs are hustlers. They think they have a way that could be better, but that doesn't mean that someone else's way is wrong. It's just maybe I have a different perspective that could advance us a little further.
It's scenario based.
It's all scenario based. So I think if we just stop trying to be number 1 and just be fantastic number 2s and number 3s and number 4, who cares, man? The rising tide raises all ships.
I think I realized that the past couple of years myself. Maybe about 2-3 years ago. I was like, man, I'm trying to always be the number 1 guy and trying to do everything and trying to be above those around me. But at the end of the day, I started realizing that I'm not a bad number 2 or 3. It's okay, you know. And I realized that, like, even I think in the pro wrestling world, I think that's what made me realize it as well. Like, the referee's a big part of the fucking show. You know, a lot of people don't know this, but the referees also set up the ring. You don't have those guys, there is no place for a number 1 at John Cena and Roman Reigns, things like that.
In wrestling, the ref is part of the show.
Oh, for sure. You know, and that's what I,
Right.
you know, and that's what I've also, you know, the last couple of years of my wrestling career too, I lost on most of my matches, and they were like, "Why are you losing?" I'm like, "Well, I'm building these younger guys up. I don't have to be the number 1 guy every time."
I still want to wrestle J-Rock one of these days.
Oh, you're going down.
You and I are going to get in the ring. I'll slap your damn chest. Maybe give you an elbow drop. Maybe a splash off the top rope.
We got a special guest referee.
Yeah. See
Yeah,
how
I've already
that
got America on.
worked out. But we'll coordinate somebody comes in and knocks him out, and then I'm going to pin you, and then they're going to say, no, it's not a win, and some shit's going to happen. So
No, but yeah, the 1, 2, and 3 guy is not a bad thing, man. And I think it takes a lot of self. How do you say it? Just a lot of just looking at yourself and being like
Self-awareness.
Self-awareness.
You just have to.
Yeah.
And that is a great topic.
Yep.
There's a lot of great number 2s out there, not only in movies and sports and all these things, but in relationships. Sometimes men have to be the number 2s. And I've said this before in a previous podcast. There's times in my relationship where I'm number 1, number 2, and sometimes number 3. You okay?
Golly, I don't know.
That drink, hey, I'm not gonna lie, man.
I'm about to
We're
give you the
drinking
Heimlich
these
maneuver.
drinks,
Bro.
Hey, I've barely been sipping on this. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
He's drunk already.
I'm feeling it a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Something's
hey,
like
but
just
who?
chilling on my throat.
We were talking about Austin Powers. Who does number 2 walk for?
But it's okay to be 2. It's okay to be 3.
It's okay.
And you'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, look at the center on a football team.
Yeah,
he
there
ain't,
you go.
he ain't number 1. That center collapses, the whole team collapses.
When was the last time ESPN interviewed a center? You know what I'm saying?
Without the
that's
center,
a good one right there. That's a really good. That's a good one. That was a
Without
good
the
one.
center, the play don't start.
They don't start.
Without the offensive line, you don't have a touchdown.
Yeah, that quarterback can give us his hard count all day long and hike the ball, but if that center does not move, it doesn't move the ball in the direction that it needs, the game does not go on. It doesn't start. So I think we all just be better people and stop worrying about being number one.
So in life and relationships and stuff, we have offensive lines.
Yeah.
Support cast, right? Wives, family members, teammates, they're offensive line. Who's your offensive line, man?
I mean, she's right over there.
Do you have any others? She's your center.
Yeah, so I would say, my
J-Rock's laughing
Oh
over
boy,
there.
Yeah.
I saw her. She was making a reaction.
I'll tell you this: my parents are, because my parents, they like my dad. He's going through a ton right now, and his health isn't good. But that dude is so resilient. So get this: so 6 weeks before I joined the Air Force, he was diagnosed with acute leukemia. They actually gave him 6 weeks to 2 months to live.
Oh man.
And I remember I was about to bounce. I'm like, I'm not joining. I'm not doing this. And I remember my dad saying, "Son, I'm going to be dead in 6 weeks. You've got your whole career." Dude's still alive.
I met him.
Wow.
Yeah, he's still alive. But he and over the years, so that leukemia has really affected his life. So now he's 74. He's had lots of surgeries. He's in a wheelchair because he just can't. His strength and his legs are gone.
Yeah.
You got the best of them.
Yeah, so just keep him in y'all's thoughts and y'all's prayers
man, for
because.
sure.
But I'll tell you, my dad is resilient. He is stubborn as all get out. Between him and my mom is a woman of faith, and I swear, and she would agree if she was here, man. She preaches every time I call. But you know what? Even though sometimes I don't want to be preached to, there's probably a reason why she is preaching to me.
Yeah.
So my parents are probably on the front end. Sandra's family, they're huge supporters. Her parents are fantastic. They're entrepreneurs as well. So I just have to say it's probably my family. Without my family, what do I have to live for?
So you're just surrounded by entrepreneurs and inspirational,
it.
like your dad.
Yep.
We talked about the kid and going to basic training, the orphan. He inspired you. Your dad has to inspire you every day.
Oh, he does.
If he keeps going, why the
He
fuck
pisses
wouldn't
me
you keep
off,
going?
too,
Right?
yeah.
Why wouldn't you keep going, Sean? Well,
Yeah.
because he's a stubborn guy. He's old school,
Yeah.
and you're going to be that same guy.
Well,
You are.
I
You are
know
gonna be
I
the
am.
same
Yeah,
guy.
I know. Oh, she's over there saying he is.
Yeah.
Is it because I like to order things on Amazon?
It's because I like to order things on Amazon.
So, man, that's
Yeah.
just having the right support system, the right team on your side is so crucial to success. All right. We talked a little about it earlier. You said money. You think money defines success, or is it something completely
No,
different?
I don't think it does because I have walked away from opportunities with a lot of money, and because it's just you can have all the money in the world if you don't have the right people around you. Because I tell you, if you burn bridges due to money, you're going to be alone, and all you're going to have are things, and no In fact, if you look at people like that have passed away when they're on their deathbed, they're not talking about how much stuff they have.
No.
They're talking about the people that they should have spent more time with.
No.
And even though we've all heard it, I don't think none of us, no one really takes that serious. So money is important, but I think you just have to figure out, and this is to each his own, you have to realize, all right, what's the level of money that you feel comfortable making based on the lifestyle that you want.
Right.
Not the lifestyle that you want people to see, because that's a whole nother subject, but the lifestyle that is best for you and your family. And that gets in the way from, because I'm driven. I can sometimes be motivated by money because I like to do things.
Scenario based again.
Right. I don't want to stay in a 1-star hotel. I want to stay in a 5-star hotel with a rooftop pool and margaritas and nice places. I want to fly overseas in first class. I don't want to. I want to do nice things for myself. But I tell you this: you're never going to see a mansion. I'm never going to buy a mansion. That doesn't strike me as awesome. But I do want a pool, right? I do want certain levels of comfort. So money is important, but I don't know if that's the driving factor because I've got enough motivation and enough intrinsic, intrinsic motivation that I'm always.
Explain that word to J-Rock. Intrinsic.
Well,
Yeah.
it's when you just wake up and it's there, man. There is no. Oh gosh, did I?
No.
It's an
Johnny
inside
always-
joke.
yeah, Johnny always gets me
whenever
with
there's
these
a
big
big word,
words.
Yeah.
I look at J-Rock and he's like,
Yeah, I'm always trying to figure out what these big words are, bro.
What does that mean?
I never got any books when I was younger. I was handed over a controller to watch pro wrestling. That's
it.
Ask ChatGPT what intrinsic is.
So you know what I define success as? Mental freedom. If you have mental freedom where you don't give a shit about what others think, if you don't give a shit about what others are going to say, oh, what's his next move or this and that, when you're just free, not only in a relationship, but free mentally, free financially, all that's just mental freedom, man. And to me, that's success. Financial freedom doesn't mean you have $1 million or $2 million in the bank.
Right.
No, you have enough money to last you, in an ample amount of time.
Yeah.
But it's not all about having all the money in the world and going out and, investing and all these other things. I mean, it's cool, but as long as I have enough than I had yesterday, I'm okay.
Right.
But all these trials and tribulations and things, they create us. They mold us. They put skins on the wall for us. We got battle scars, not only mentally, physically, not only being in the military, but in bad relationships, in bad business deals, and all these things. They make us. Because if you don't have these trials and tribulations, you're going to curl up into the fetal position and just pass out once you come into a conflict. Mm-hmm. So conflict's important as well. And as business owners, we have to have different conflicts.
Yeah,
right?
and I also think it's important.
And conflict doesn't mean you're in a fight.
Right.
Conflict means resolution.
Yeah,
Problem
you're
resolution.
You're growing. Right. Yeah, and I think being in a position of financial freedom or mental freedom, right, where now you're in a position to help others, that you recognize that they haven't broken through that, right? They're going through some stuff, or they're financially struggling, or maybe they just don't have enough for a car to get to work to make an income or an impact, right? So I think putting myself in a position to where I can actually help people out, that brings great joy to me.
Yep.
And Sandra and I we're always grabbing the bill. Like, we love grabbing the bill. This isn't an invitation, though, to say, let's go to Bob's Steakhouse.
I was about to say, hey, where are we going? How are we going after this?
Hey, I like steak and lobster there,
I know.
Sean.
But I mean, it's just, I think it's something, her family's the same way, my family's the same way, it's in us, and it's fun to do that.
You're good people. Just be a good person.
Yeah, be a good person. And because it does go around. Mm-hmm. It goes around. So
I think I owe you the next drink, as a matter of fact.
I mean, you might owe me like 10, but I don't care. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
See, now that you're bringing it up, I
like
think you brought that up on purpose.
I like that. He's like, you owe me the next 10.
Yeah, you did. So, but it's fun. It's fun when you can pay it forward, and that brings me great joy to where I can say, you know what, I will say this about money, and then we can move on. But I do hope one day that I can make enough money and call my mom and dad and say, your bills are taken care of. Like, your house is done, your car is done. That is a goal of mine.
That's another piece of mental freedom.
Man, I would love to do that. And my dad, I would love to do that. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. I think we would all love to do that as well. Mm-hmm. So you're an entrepreneur. We mentioned that several times.
Yeah.
So first time we've ever done this. All right. I don't even know if this has been done on any podcast in history.
No. I want to be careful. Here we go.
All right. So I need you.
Okay.
To hunker down.
Be careful what you ask for.
I need you to hunker down.
Careful what you ask for.
Grab your nuts.
Oh, gosh.
And put them on that table.
All right, here we go. I'm grabbing them.
Grab your nuts and put them on the table. There
Bam.
you go.
There
you go.
D's nuts.
I think I have to bring out that, how the censor thing?
Yeah, you're going to have to censor this piece.
Big hairy nuts now.
Oh, these are definitely not hairy. They've been shaved and processed.
There you go.
They're covered in oil and seasoning.
No more hair.
Well, that sounds like a regular day for John.
I know. We got, so these are our two newest flavors. And D's nuts, hot cheddar, fantastic. They today, actually, we did a market this morning. It was the first time we got to present these. And normally our top seller is the Cool Ranch Sriracha. That's, as long as I've been slinging these nuts, Cool Ranch Sriracha has been the top product. But today, there's a new sheriff in town.
Uh-oh.
And it's the hot cheddar.
So that guy just escalated all the way to the top.
Bro,
immediately.
I looked at the sales. I'm like, holy crap. In fact, I didn't even sell a full case of Cool Ranch. The market was a little low today, but I did very well with hot cheddar.
All right, so tell us about that. Tell us about the name. It's very catchy.
Yeah. So
and how did you get started, man?
Yeah, so let's also clear the air. This isn't my business. My buddy Donovan, he's a Navy vet.
Okay.
He's out of Jacksonville. So during my Air Force days, when I was stationed at Patrick Air Force Base, I was at the Homestead, Miami, the NASCAR race, running one of the Air Force's recruiting activations. And, of course, there's company across from our booth were D's Nuts. And just like everyone else, I thought it was hilarious. I'm like, I gotta go check this stuff out. And so I walk over there, and Donovan, the owner, he's just slinging. He's just doing his thing. He's
smiling, laughing,
having fun. And I'm like, this is great. But what I noticed about his activation is he had some tables out, but he had no skins. He had no branding. He had he had his trailer, but there was nothing beyond that. So I thought, opportunity for my wife with All In Canopies and allincanopies.com. Go there right now. Yeah. So I just, again, goes back to relationships, right? Introduce myself because it's relationship first, business second. Because you cannot ask for the sale if the person does not trust you.
Right.
And the only way you can get them to trust you is through the relationship. So Donovan and I stayed in touch over the years. Sandra became their vendor, did all their tents, all their table covers, anything that they needed, and Sandra took care of them.
So, well, let me ask you this real quick.
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it, because you said they got to trust you, right?
Yeah.
If you're telling them, hey, grab these nuts,
Yeah.
can they trust you like that?
Of course they can. They can even put them in their mouth.
Because if you say, put these nuts in your mouth, just to add to anybody else, they're
You
going to
can
say,
put-
what the hell's wrong with this
you can
guy?
put both of these nuts in your mouth,
Right.
you know?
Put this nut sack in your mouth there. And
Well, I mean, you went there. I mean, that's a whole nother level.
have your wife put these nuts in her mouth.
Well,
You know,
Okay.
I mean, that's next level stuff.
yeah.
So they have to be able to have a good sense of humor.
They do.
Right.
And if they're walking by the D's Nuts tent,
Okay.
they better be prepared. Because there are times, like, you know, when we're doing these events, you got to connect, right?
Right.
Like today, somebody's walking by with a Dallas Cowboys jersey, and I'm like, hey, bro, you know what the official snack of the Dallas Cowboys is? D's Nuts.
That's right.
Right? Last year at the Comal County Fair, I went up to a whole bunch of group of New Braunfels police officers. And I was like, sir, do you know what the official snack of the New Braunfels Police Department is? He's like, what? I was like, D's Nuts. They loved
Sir, hands
it.
behind your back.
They loved
Hey,
it.
officers, come grab these nuts
Come
over
grab
here.
these nuts, right? And if you do see us, we do give a 10% discount to all veterans, nurses, doctors, teachers. We want to take care of y'all. We believe in y'all, so we want to provide that opportunity for y'all to put these nuts in your mouth at a discounted rate.
Right. So I have put those nuts in my mouth before.
Yeah.
And
Today you
they're
did.
very tasty.
Yeah.
They're good for a charcuterie board. They're good just for, grabbing while you're watching the game, whatever, watching a movie. You have different, you mentioned sriracha.
Yeah, Cool Ranch Sriracha,
You got
dill pickle,
banana.
banana pudding's legit. Put that on some ice cream, bake it into cookies and brownies. It's amazing. That's my wife's favorite flavor. We've got barbecue. We've got, obviously, Cool Ranch Sriracha, hot cheddar, ghost pepper. This is one of our newer flavors, ghost pepper. Man, I tell you, this thing is spicy. It is spicy.
One of my favorite things is sitting there watching Sandra telling other women, come grab these nuts.
Come grab these nuts. That's her favorite. That's her favorite line. She just starts yelling.
It is.
Come grab these nuts.
So she even had my daughter with her.
Slinging nuts.
My daughter was saying, come grab these nuts.
Yeah. Your daughter's
only,
a pro.
Only a pervert would think you're talking about something else.
That's right.
Because you're obviously talking about peanuts.
It's exactly right.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so obvious.
Yeah, there's only been one time when someone got offended.
Tell us about that.
Oh, gosh. Well, I just said, just keep walking. She's like, I don't know what she said, but I was like, well, just keep walking. You're in my world. I sling nuts. Either you want them in your mouth or you don't.
That's right. There's two types of people.
That's it.
Those that love these nuts
Yeah.
and those that need to keep walking.
Keep on walking. In fact, go the long way. If
That's
you
right.
see us,
Take
just
the
go
scenic route.
Take the scenic route. Go away. But you're gonna miss out with these nuts in your mouth.
So where's
Yeah.
some of the places you have your nuts at, man?
So now, actually, you can go to Pedals to Go here in New Braunfels. We're also at Walmart across the country, so you can go to any Walmart, but you won't I'm not sure if you're gonna get these flavors. You're definitely gonna get the dill pickle and the banana at every Walmart across the nation. You can get some at the Select Stop on Klein Road. You can get them out at Let's Get Pickled and Shop out in Canyon Lake. That place is a cool little shop, veteran-owned business.
Veteran-owned
yeah,
business.
You know, I think you've met Kristen or you've talked to Kristen. She was fantastic. So I'm trying to think where else we sell them. We're going to be at the Comal County Fair, but you can also buy them at the Co-op off of Seguin Road. I'm trying to think.
You're everywhere, man. Your nuts are growing.
Yeah, we're growing. We're pushing them all over the place.
Yeah. So, dude, I know I kind of hijacked you a little bit because I asked you said something about these nuts earlier.
Yeah.
But you were saying something about Sandra with All In Canopies, and I think that's where we left you.
Oh, with the company, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so kept in touch with Donovan and the owner of these nuts, and then when I retired, I went straight into commercial insurance. And me being the entrepreneur, the hustler that I am, I reached out to him. I was trying to get his insurance, and through some conversation, apparently he already had a guy, but he was like, oh, but he did a oh, by the way trick on me. He said, I do have some, we're growing. Why don't you look into selling these nuts? And I was like, man, I needed a break from events.
Right.
Like the last thing that I wanted to do at that time was just go and sell nuts.
Because in the Air Force, you did air shows.
Oh,
you were always at a booth.
I was always at a booth. And let's not forget, I'm married to the event queen, right? She loves events. She loves events. And I said, well, you know what? Send me some samples. I'll test it. He sent me some samples. I showed him around. I gave them to a few friends. I was like, dang. As we all know, they are delicious.
Right.
And I go, you know what? Screw it. Let's test this. Let's test this out. So I bought a pallet, and we did our first event. And well, I'm still doing it 2 years later. It was a great turnout, and it's really impacted the town of New Braunfels. People think I own it, and I want to be clear that I do not own these nuts.
You're the face of the franchise, though.
Well, it's not even a franchise, but I am the face in this area.
The proverbial
yes.
face of the franchise. You and Sandra, when you put you two together, you think of these nuts.
In this community, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I've gone to the owner. I'm like, hey, man, and this is what's awesome about him. It's like, hey, dude, everyone thinks I own it. He goes, well, you do own it in that town.
Right.
He goes, you go and own it. You go and hustle. And he supported us from day one. And I'm happy to see his success, because the brand is growing, and I'm happy about these 2 new flavors. They're delicious. We will, again, I'm going to throw another plug. Comal County Fair, come see us, and we'll be sure to put these nuts in your mouth.
What are the dates?
27 September all the way through the 1st of October.
Gotcha.
Yep. Just in a few short weeks.
It's going to be a good time.
Oh, we're going to have a ball.
So marketing.
Yeah, let's
it's
talk.
It's not that hard to market these nuts.
No, it's not.
Because people just look at that and they chuckle and they laugh and they like it. Like, oh, let me click on that. Let me find out some more. So marketing is so important in small business and in big business. Marketing guru.
Yeah.
Right. So how important is it for small businesses to get their name out there? We spoke earlier, top of mind, remaining relevant. We talked about the Snoop Dogg thing, how he still is intact with the community, with his audience and his market. What advice do you have, man, for business owners?
Well, I think it's important to market yourself in a way that you're fixing people's problems. You're adding value to their life. And I think some small businesses get too caught up in how much money they need to make. Yes, that's important. But if you can go into the community and add value, even if they buy your product or not, add value to their life, provide solutions, help other businesses, right? Again, a rising tide raises all ships. So, heck, and I see you do this, Johnny. You promote other realtor groups and teams because they help the industry. Mm-hmm. So if I can help the industry, if they're a competitor of mine, yeah, I'm still going to compete. You better have your A game. You better be ready to rock and roll. but I also want you to be successful because you help my industry.
Right.
You help our industry.
We're better together.
We're better together. So market yourself as the one-stop shop that can fix problems. Don't have a no attitude. Don't have a fixed mindset. You need to have a growth mindset, because if you have a fixed mindset, from a business perspective, you're gonna be lost. You're gonna be forgotten about.
And you're gonna be alone.
And you're gonna be
just
alone.
like we talked about, people with all this, money, whatever. If they don't have build a relationship, it's gonna be alone.
Yeah.
And you mentioned how I help others, you help others, Sandra helps others, J-Rock helps others. We got to do it together, because you can't call yourself a community influencer, a community leader, if you're not helping others. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter if you're in the same industry. I'm in the photo booth industry as well. I help other photo boothers level up.
Right.
I want to give them business. I want to make sure everybody is fed at that table.
Yeah.
And if everybody's fed at the table, the community is going to profit from it. The community is going to win as well. And that's how I think the community wins. It was when all these business owners get together and they truly put their heart into it and their faith, trust, and confidence in each other, everybody's going to win.
Yep.
You might not get every sale, but I don't want every sale. Not everybody's my client. Let me introduce today's podcast sponsor. Today's episode is sponsored by Top Flight Realty Group. This team of prolific realtors are your go-to if you're looking to buy or sell your home. They have knowledge, experience, and a proactive approach to getting the job done just for you. They go above and beyond for you with trust, faith, and confidence. You can find them in the San Antonio area and Austin, New Braunfels, everywhere else. And you can also find them at topflightrealtygroup.com.
So let's take marketing a step further, right? Most people, I think, when they think of marketing or advertising, they instantly think about, how do I promote my product or my service, whatever, to create income.
Right.
There is another massive nugget that people fail to pay attention to and consider, and that's their employer brand. That's recruitment, not necessarily recruitment marketing. We'll get to there in a minute, but employer branding. What is employer branding, and what does it mean, and why is it important? Your employer brand, and I want to play a game here. When people think of Tesla or Facebook or Google, right? Yeah, they think about the products and services that they provide. But imagine that someone walked into your organization and their resume said Google, had these big names on their resume. You're going to be like, yes, that guy's innovative. He's smart. He went to this college. He can provide this much value, right?
He's connected as well.
He's connected, right? That is employer brand, right? So I think it's important that as you are marketing your organization, you need to look, and just so let's be also clear, your employer brand is a reflection on how your employees perceive your organization. Whereas your market value or your branding is how customers perceive your organization. Employer branding is how your employees perceive your organization. So Southwest has it the best. Happy employee, happy customer. They know what they're doing. You take care of the customer is not always right. Your employee is not always right. But you take care of your employee first, because if you take care of your employee, that perpetuates. You want to be a business where people desire to work at, because they know they're going to get treated right. They know that they're gonna show up every single day. They're not going to quit during tough times. They're going to treat their business as if it's their business. So your employer brand is just as important as your product brand, as your company name, and how it's perceived in the marketplace. Because if you're not taking care of your employee, and we all know this in the job market that we're in right now, it's tough to find great people. It's tough to keep people. Right? The average, a lot of this new per se thing of those entering the job market, they're job jumpers. They're going from career to career to career, and statistically, it's shown that when they go to the next job, they're gonna get paid a little bit more. So they see that, they understand that, right? But you got to take care of those individuals, because they will stay and they'll help you grow your brand. And then people, when they come into your place of business, look at Chick-fil-A, for example. As soon as you pull up to the counter, how may we serve you? They treat you like part of the family. And the last time I went to...
It's a culture, man.
It's a culture. And it's a bit. It's an opportunity. So if your business is suffering, look at your employer brand. How are your go through your employees, and ask them, would they quit today, and if so, why?
Hey, Chick-fil-A also has that very, very great drive-through service. It's fast.
Oh, it's great.
I don't care if they have 30 cars there. I know I'm going to get my sandwich in about less than 15 minutes.
Yeah, depending on the line. Yeah.
Right. So it doesn't matter. If it's 5 cars or 30 cars, they have an efficient way of doing business. And I think a lot of other businesses are catching on. You see McDonald's still doesn't have the shit together. But you see other ones trying to emulate that thing.
But let's peel that onion a little bit further. You can't just walk into Chick-fil-A. You can't go to Chick-fil-A.com and say, I want to be a store manager. No, it's a very process. It's a very thorough process.
You got to be able to say my pleasure a certain way, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, my pleasure with these nuts. But they're not just going to hire anyone off the street because they care about who represents their brand. Not they don't care about how much money. Yeah, again, at the end of the day, it's a business. But they understand the value of employer branding. And that's just I think it's a missed opportunity for a lot of young organizations. If you're not focusing on how your employees perceive your brand, then you're missing the mark.
I think employers got to ask for feedback constantly. Surveys, feedback, polls, whatever. You got to understand the young person, because young people today are way different from when you and I were growing up.
Yeah.
You got to know what makes them happy, what makes them sad, and employee turnover today is a real bad thing.
Oh, it's super high.
Why is there so high of a turnover? I mean, is it society? Is it the actual employers? What do you think it is? Or is it a mixture of both?
I think it's a lot of things. I think it's not at the interview process. You're not uncovering the appropriate needs of that individual, the things that they need to take care of. Is it fine? Because people don't leave for money, right? They say they may leave for money. They leave for that's actually the cherry on the top. That's where they go, I don't make enough money, so they're out. No, they quit months prior to that because they got burned or something happened. But I think there's a mix of reasons why there's a high turnover due to leadership, training, trust, opportunity to advance.
Managers versus leaders. We talked about that on a previous podcast.
Yeah.
You have a lot of managers that are just kind of kicking your butt every day, but they're not leading you. They're not inspiring you to work there. They're just, you go there because you have to. And they know that, they might have good pay or whatever, but everything else sucks. And you said it, you were on the head. You hit the nail on the head. It's not about the pay all the time. It's about how you feel when you go in there.
Right.
Do you really love the culture? And you can pay me $20 an hour, but if the culture sucks, I'm going to say I'm out of here.
I'm out. I'd
rather go to somebody at $15 an hour where I enjoy working there and I have opportunities to move forward.
Right.
Or to move up.
Yeah, again, employer branding is such a key component. And if you have a high turnover in your organization, you need to check yourself.
Right.
Right. What's your leadership like? What's your onboarding like? What's your training like? What are your benefits like? And look at pay. Pay's important. Right. You got to look at the market. You got to look at the skill set. You got to look at the value that the person is bringing to the organization.
You're getting value, and value is reciprocal as well.
It is.
I want value for my employee, but I want my employee to know that I'm giving them value as well.
Right. When early in my career, and I haven't been around a lot of leaders like this, but I did work for someone that said, "Do as I say, not as I do," and I'm glad I went through that experience because, man, he was wrong. First of all, I mean that's horrible to say that to a young airman because you can influence me. I'm pretty easy to influence. All right, I'll buy you. I'll buy what you're selling, right? Because I like to go through that process. But we need to stop doing that. Do as I say. Do what you teach.
Right.
Right. If you say, "Hey, show up on time," that doesn't mean you're late to the meeting. That if it's your meeting, no. If it's your meeting, you need to be early. Right. So follow through with the teachings that you're providing your employees. And you work for them. Managers and leaders work for their employees. You work to provide the opportunity for those employees because those employees will keep your business on the map.
A lot don't understand that.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous how much I see where, no, you're working for me. You do what I say.
Right.
and it's straight up bullshit, man.
It is. No, it is. And I've heard other people, I just can't find good help. This is the reason why my business is failing. No, your business is failing because you are failing.
Go home and look in the mirror and look no further than that. That's where your problem lies.
Absolutely. You have to inspire these people to show up to work every single day. You have to give them a reason to show up. The tides have turned. When I came in early in my working career, the favor was all in the owner of the business. The people who provided you the opportunity was all in their favor. Now the tides have turned, and almost too much, because now some of those younger workers understand the tides have turned, even though they don't know where they came from. Mm-hmm. But a lot of these younger workers understand that. But if you just spend some time with them, understand why are they showing up every single. What are their dreams? Like, someone comes into a retail position, maybe that's not their dream. Maybe their dream is to be a doctor or a nurse or a pilot or join the military. How can that business leader help them reach their dreams?
I think a lot of business leaders and owners want those employees to stay there forever. So they want to keep them.
Right.
And they're not inspiring them to move up as a business owner. I'm a business owner. You know what, young man? I want you to be a business owner too. You got a lot of potential. Let me take you under my wing, show you the ropes, and I want you to lead others one day.
Great example. Mm-hmm. All in Canopy. I'm gonna give y'all a little peek behind the curtain on how All in Canopies was created. When I was an Air Force marketer at Patrick Air Force Base, Florida, I actually, let me back up for a second. When I was a recruiter in Longview, Texas, my first event, my tent, my setup was not branded, and the Army had all this great stuff. Mine was like a blue tent from Academy. It was garbage, right? And I remember thinking, if I ever am in the position to fix this, I'm going to do it. Years later, I am now the marketer of this squad, of this Air Force recruiting unit. Same thing happened. No one had branded tents. First thing I did was order tents for every single flight in our unit. Well, when I realized the process of that, I got to know the salesperson. They're out of California. I built a relationship with him, and when the tents and canopies were all delivered, I called my sales guy and I go, dude, I want in, because I saw the process, I saw the opportunity, and you know what? Instead of him saying sorry, blah blah blah, he goes, I got you. He took me under his wing, the sales guy, and I asked him, I go, JP, why are you creating? You're creating a competitor. He goes, dude, I like you. He saw potential in me.
He didn't see you as a competitor.
He didn't. He saw potential in me.
Right.
Because he knew that by me coming into this industry would raise the industry. So he taught me, and then he wholesaled. He wholesaled to me. In the first tent, we bootstrapped the entire program of All in Canopy. Bootstrap. No funding, no outside money, no nothing. We funded every single piece through a sell over a sell over a sell, and helping fixing problems. And I would go to JP and I'd be like, bro, what do I do now? And he showed me how to do it. And now here we are 6 years later. My wife is crushing it. And now we've got a brand throughout the community of New Braunfels, Texas, and we still have a major, actually, sorry, she's looking at me, across the United States. We've helped in almost every single state in this country of more marketing and branding awareness opportunities. So, again, rising tide raises all ships, and that's exactly what he did.
So just imagine if JP hadn't have done that, you might not be who you are today.
No, he would have, because he took me under his wing. And actually, to be honest, Sandra wasn't even in the picture there, because she had another job, and it was just me and a buddy that were having all these meetings with him. And then the cool part is years later, I got to meet him when I was in California, and he came up to meet me at this fitness expo. It was fantastic. It was great. So goes to show you, relationships matter. You take care of people. You build relationship first, business second, and that's exactly what he taught me. And now 6-7 years later, Sandra is still crushing, adding value to other businesses, helping them increase their brand awareness, and then hopefully soon their employer brand. I'm telling you, if you focus on your employer brand, your business will thrive.
Absolutely, man.
Yep.
I'm a
Yep.
whole believer in that.
Yep.
So let's talk about this. We've talked about this over some drinks from time to time. We talked about employers and with the "we're hiring" signs. Okay? In order to get employees, you got to let them know you're hiring. Correct? So what is your thought process on how businesses can keep that mindset, or they can fine-tune it to change it up where people can also know that you're hiring, but and just have a different mindset walking into the door?
Yeah, I believe hiring, the we're hiring is very transactional. You might as well put a sign next to it that says we're selling. No shit, right? We understand that you're selling something. Everyone's hiring. But what is your employee value proposition? What's your EVP? Why should people come and join and fill out an application? Come join our team. Be part of our movement. Grow with us. Do something. Make a difference in your community.
So the sign should say, "Grow with us. Make a difference in your life. Make a difference in the lives of others," instead of "we're hiring."
We're hiring.
It's so generic.
It's generic. It's even though it's important to show that you are hiring. I get that, but there is another way to communicate, because you want to resonate. You want to your advertising and your signage should light a little bit of intrinsic. You got that, bro? Intrinsic. Did you write it down? Intrinsic.
J-Rock's working out over there.
I got it.
You got it. He's over there Googling. No, I'm joking. But you've got to inspire them to want to ask you, are y'all hiring? Let the potential applicant ask the question, are y'all hiring? This place is awesome.
But you're letting them know right up front that you are joining something bigger than yourself.
Correct.
You're joining something. You're not just going to come work here, a dead-end job, 9 to 5, come in and leave. No, we're going to stay with you in your brain. The culture we're going to build is going to stay with you, and it's going to ask you, it's going to tell you to promote others to come work with us. You're creating a mindset, creating a culture, creating an atmosphere of not only fun, but everything else that comes with it. And I love that we talk about that. You're not just hiring, you're creating something.
Yeah, because if you're just hiring someone, you're basically you're communicating that you want them to come in and fix a specific or run a specific task, which is transactional. We've all heard this. Well, that's not my job. That's not my job. No, it's our job, right? Just because you may be a cashier in a specific doesn't mean that you can't help someone find a certain product down an aisle.
Right.
Fix the problem of the person. Serve the customer. And when you communicate that you're hiring, that's very transactional. The call to action is come join our team. Be a part of our movement. Serve your community with us. Grow with us. Inspire them. Employers, you owe it to the people who work for you or work for your company. You owe it to them to inspire them and put them in a position to be successful.
Sean, great conversation, but before we wrap up, man.
Yeah.
Mental health, men's mental health. We talk about this almost on every show because we deal with a lot of entrepreneurs on the show. And a lot of them are balls to the wall, hardcore, every day. They're hustling. Even when they're asleep, their brain is just constantly going. And I know you're a hustler, man. Your brain's constantly going. You don't stop. You're like the Energizer Bunny. I don't know. You pointed at Sandra. I don't
My
know.
wife, she outworks me.
Did I say Energizer Bunny? I don't know.
That's her. I mean, but
But how's your mental health, man?
My mental health is good. I will say I always want to be better. So I think I have to check myself. And my wife does this very well. And I'll go ahead and put myself out there. A few weeks ago, she came and she said, "Sean, you're being negative." She was, "You're being negative." Some of the conversations that you're having, she could see that the work, and I love my work.
It's getting to you.
It's getting to me because I am passionate. I'm driven. And I expect everybody to work at the level that I expect myself to work at. So I carry that. And I think it's important that you have to give yourself grace and you have to listen to those around you that are giving you feedback. Even though I hated it, Even though I was like, I was probably argumentative. No, whatever. But it's important that you listen to the people who care. Because the ones that care about you, they're going to give you transparent feedback, whether you like it or not. So take care of yourself, slow down. And a week after that, we went on a week vacation. It was just us. We went to Hot Springs, Arkansas. I felt like we were the only ones on the lake. It was awesome. It not only did it allow me to kind of chill, but it added value to my marriage. It helped our relationship, right? It allowed me to really hear my wife's feedback, to really, not just to listen to her feedback, but to understand where she was coming from. And that pays dividends.
And you reset yourself.
And I reset myself, and
your
now
mindset was reset.
And my mindset was reset, and I'm not getting as impatient. I'm seeing some other things that I probably should change in my own life, and that's important. So
Are you high
guys,
strung?
Huh?
Are you high strung?
Probably.
I think we all are.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Probably.
The people that I network with, we're all high strung people.
Yeah.
So mental health is important to me, and I need to chill the fuck out as well.
Yeah, you have to.
Just being honest.
You do, and you know what? It's okay to stop for a little bit. I know in the society that we live in, if you look at a lot of, listen to billionaires or whatever, they're always saying, go, 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 go. You can rest when you're retired. You can. What's the quote?
They're resting too.
Do what?
They're fucking resting too.
They have to.
They're lying.
They have to.
Yeah, I don't care who you are. The Rock's not as big as he is physically without rest. Kevin Hart's not as great as he is without rest. Gary Vee has said in his shit too, I get at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep. You fucking rest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who you are. You gotta rest. The brain needs rest. You can only go so many days without rest. You need rest.
Yep.
J-Rock, do you need rest? Do you get rest, J-Rock?
Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. The past year, I've got the most rest I've ever had in my life.
Good.
Because my body is not the way it used to be after surgery. After my body went through with it, and the reason why it went that way was because I didn't rest. My body didn't know how to heal itself. My body was starting to deteriorate because I didn't ever rested.
As we get older, brother.
Oh yeah.
We need to make sure that we definitely rest our brains. Once our brain goes, we're done.
Y'all did this too. Like y'all went to the military. Y'all had y'all's years. What was it, 20 plus? And I did the same thing with my body. And I didn't go to the military, which I respect y'all's services and y'all's time there.
You served too, bro. You served the community.
But I served my community, and I did it at a high level that has given me the opportunities that I have today, and so much that I didn't rest my body. So I hate when. And sorry to interrupt you from all that.
No, you're good,
but
man.
I really hate when. People do say, well, Kevin Hart hardly sleeps. He's everywhere. Well, yeah, he's got this badass plane that he flies private, and he has this badass bed that he gets to sleep on as he's going from place to place.
And he probably takes these pills that put him to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's called
There's all kinds. And, go ahead.
Yeah. No, that's called omnipresence, which is a great thing to capture in marketing.
For sure.
If you can create perception that you are everywhere when you're not, that's marketing.
Active and visible.
Right. I mean, when I first started looking for a new car, the car that the manufacturer, all the way to the trim and the seat, everything is what I wanted. When I really fell in love with this vehicle, I saw it it was omni-channel, it was everywhere. Same thing with marketing. Right? You're in the community, you've got advertising, you're at networking groups, you're at church, you're spending your own money in local businesses, and and you guys do it the best, because everywhere y'all go, you're promoting other businesses, right? Again, and I've said it. This is probably my fourth or fifth time to say this: the rising tide raises all ships, right? Because if you boost and promote other businesses, you're going to get a lift as well,
indirectly, or directly. But you're there. It's called marketing. We love marketing. You love marketing. You're a guru. I called you a guru in the beginning, and you're going to continue to thrive and grow. Hopefully, these nuts get bigger.
These nuts will grow in your mouth.
Yeah, they'll get bigger, and you're going to keep on hustling, grinding, and influencing, and making an impact in the lives of others, man. Don't
he's
chase
over
money.
salivating.
J-Rock, don't chase money. What do we chase?
Relationships.
Relationships.
Oh, I was
man.
going to say something else, but I'm married.
I know you're going to. Yeah, see, when you were 18, 19, you might have chased what you were thinking.
Yeah, I was going to say something else.
I'm telling you, man. I'll tell you.
All right, I said one last question. Here's the last one.
Yeah.
Give me the Cliff Notes version, all right? What's your legacy?
Oh, man, you put me on the spot now.
I hate when he does that.
Yeah, legacy. You know what my legacy is my family.
Nice.
Good.
It's it. You know, that's all we got.
That's it.
I mean,
And they're going to carry on your memory and carry on the Sean P. Christian.
Nah, you know what? I want them to carry on. I want them to carry on.
These nuts?
I want them to carry on the family.
There you go.
Not Sean, because Sean doesn't exist without the family.
But once they forget about Sean, that's when it's over.
That's when they got these nuts.
Yeah. No. We got to keep your memory.
Yeah.
We're talking about this guy like he's going to pass away or
I'm
something.
talking about. I'm still
What are
here.
you doing?
At your eulogy, I want to be part of that.
Yeah.
And I want you to be part of my eulogy.
I'm already there.
Hey.
I can't wait to do a cannonball in your pool.
Because hey, one of us is next. One of us is next here, right? But make sure you keep your mental health intact.
Yeah.
Make sure you build your relationships and make them strong.
That's right.
Make sure you implore others, not only employ, but implore others to level up, man. With that said, where can we find you, sir?
Well, you can go to allincannabis.com. Because the better half of me is my wife. Mm-hmm. And if you want to elevate your brand, if you want to elevate your presence, allincannabis.com. Talk to my wife, Sandra Christian. You can also talk to Crystal Westbrook. She's one of our newest members on our team, who's also a former Air Force vet.
We love Crystal Westbrook.
Crystal is fantastic. She loves her community. She's going to do fantastic. And I'm super thrilled to have her on our team. You can find me on LinkedIn. I am available for some consulting. If you are interested in learning more about your employer brand and how you can make a better contribution to your staff, you call me. You find me on LinkedIn, Sean P. Christian, or SeanPChristian@gmail.com.
What's the P stand for?
Pizzle, Paul. I had to go Snoop Dogg on us.
Hey, there you go.
Sean P. Christian @gmail. But find me on LinkedIn. I would love to talk to you about your employer brand and how you can elevate that, because you will not only grow your business, but you will also add value to your community. And that's why we all are in business.
Boom. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Mic drop. That's it. TikTok, I don't know. I got a TikTok, but I suck at it. But you can find me on, it's all Sean P. Christian. I'm the only one, Sean P. That's it. Or call Johnny and his team, and he'll connect you.
Are you on OnlyFans?
Maybe. Maybe not.
Hey, there's some good marketing on there. You can market. You can
I
market
do
something
sell.
else.
I do sell my feet pics.
See, I told you I'm not the only one, John.
Yeah, I've made at least $1 million on my left foot.
Hell yeah. As long as you don't have bunions and corns, I think people would dig your feet.
What do you mean? That's like the callus for fucking.
Oh, man.
Just playing.
I'm not gonna say it. That's horrible. But I got never mind. We ain't gonna go there. Hey, no, but for real talk. Thanks for having me on the show.
Hell yeah.
Big fan. Sandra and I are huge supporters. I love what y'all are doing here. This is fantastic. If y'all could see what I could see, I'm gonna look at the camera. They told me not to look at the camera. I'm looking at the camera right now. This thing is fantastic, and I cannot be more. I'm ecstatic for y'all. This is legit.
We appreciate you guys. You and Sandra are a beautiful couple, power couple, definition power couple. You guys are all around marketers, making shit happen constantly, producing services, active and visible. I mean, you guys do it all. So allincannabis.com.
Allincannabis.com.
So you guys got it right, man.
Yep.
So with that said, I appreciate you being on the show. You can find us all over social media as well. We got a Snapchat, we got a TikTok, we got Instagram, and we got Facebook. We also got a website. We got a lot of cool stuff on there. Socialplugmedia.net. YouTube. YouTube is a big platform, and we're about to get on Buzzsprout and all these other things as well. So you can catch us on many, many other platforms. All right, we chatted about marketing earlier. We need to get on these other platforms.
Yeah, you got to do it.
So those of you watching, we appreciate you. We love you. Continue watching. Continue spreading our love and joy throughout your community, throughout your network. Follow us, subscribe, and do all those things. Continue to watch us. We got a lot of things brewing. We got a lot of different hosts hosting this show. It's not only me and J-Rock. We got others. And we got a lot of conversations, topics, and fun stuff with our guests. So with that said, you are unplugged from the Social Plug Podcast. We love you, and we'll see you next time.